Hello again and welcome back. The third sermon to the captains, the money supply. In this country, the money supply is created by loaning it into existence through a process called fractional reserve banking. That means the bank only needs about 10% of the loan as cash on hand. The other 90% is created out of thin air by the bank when it creates the loan. The problem with this approach is that all the loans come with interest attached. The money to pay the interest is not created with the loan. This is what creates inflation and instability in the system, requiring periodic economic downturns. This is called the business cycle. We constantly have to borrow more money to pay the interest on the money we previously borrowed. That is why the budget will never be balanced. Balance is the key. Look for a balance and balance it. In 2008, the system popped its top. The banks, almost all of them, as if directed by some hidden force, reduced their lending requirements and flooded the system with money. Of course, the next thing that happened was the housing prices inflated dramatically. What is the value of a house? The value of a house is determined by the amount the bank is willing to loan for it. Well, then all the liar loans issued started to default. The banks panicked and dramatically tightened their lending standards, and the housing market collapsed. With no new money to pay the interest on the old loans, the economy went into a depression. And what did Congress do? Why, they bailed out the banks, of course, and left you and me to take the rap. You never see it, but you experience it every day. This is not the first time the banks have done this, and it won't be the last time either, unless we change the system. It turns out that the only reason we had this problem is because a while back Congress enacted the Federal Reserve Act, and they gave the power to print money to the banks free of charge, I might add. The solution to the problem is simple. Take the power to print money away from the banks and give it back to the people where it belongs. This will not be the first time the government has printed and spent money, the money supply, into the economy. Abraham Lincoln did it during the Civil War, and it worked out fine. Of course, they shot him for it, but hey, this is the 20th century now. We're past that, right? Here's a question for the more industrious of you. Since its inception, the Federal Reserve has been collecting fees in the form of interest on loans. How much has it collected? Where's that money now? NASA could use it. That could be a really big number. I know that sounds good to you, number one. In the Federal Reserve Act, it is clearly stated that the Federal Reserve is required by law to make periodic payments to the Treasury of the United States. That has never happened. Once. Never. And I can't figure out why Congress doesn't go get it. I smell something very fishy. Folks, our system is rotten to the core, and now is the time to change things. I want Congress to investigate. I want Congress to find our money and take it back. I want Congress to put the thieves who took it in jail where they belong. If that's not a shot over the bow, I don't know what is. Is that the sound of bullets sliding into the chamber I hear? I just might be dropping in for a visit, Abe, my buddy. So be it. Now's the time for someone to start asking the right questions. If you want to be the king, you got to behave like one. Permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not who makes the law. Mayor Amstel Rothschild. I would start there, my good man. I'm coming for you. There's still time. Confess your sins. That ought to put the fear of God in them. Payback is a bitch. I'm reminded of the scene in Frankenstein where the townspeople are storming the castle with torches and pitchforks. Lol. Well, it's funny if you're standing on the right side of the law anyway. Did you know that if you put a frog in a pot of water and turn the heat up slowly enough, they would sit there and boil to death? Some may find my argument simplistic. Maybe, but by that definition, E equals mc squared is a simplistic expression of Einstein's theory. I prefer the term elegant. Once the party of light matures, I suggest the following be adopted as our new agenda. Our agenda shall be to balance the money supply. Currently, the Federal Reserve creates our money. The Federal Reserve is a private company owned by member banks. The Federal Reserve Act is the instrument that gave the Federal Reserve the power to create money. I propose that we rescind that gift and return it to the people. The government will create the money supply and spend it into the economy. Once the government has the power to create the money supply, it no longer has need to borrow nor tax to pay its bills. All federal taxes will be eliminated. Additionally, I propose we enact a living wage for every adult citizen in the country. We will accomplish these goals and we will have dissolved the IRS. Once we have accomplished these goals, we'll have dissolved the IRS. We'll dissolve Social Security, replaced by the living wage. We'll dissolve the Federal Reserve. We'll dissolve the budget problem. We'll dissolve the national debt. We'll let the existing bonds retire naturally. We'll dissolve the homeless problem. That seems a worthy goal for the Son of Man to meet. How do you feel about this? The living wage shall be such that a person can have a place to live, clothes on their backs, food on the table, a reliable car, and medical and dental insurance. Now, it won't be the rich, but if you want to give more and go out and get a job, you'll get more. I'm thinking about $2,000 a month. Thus shall the meek inherit the earth. All right, a little change of pace now. The best offer of marriage ever. I love you, Mary and me. I love you, Mary and me. Marry me, Mary. I love you. That kind of works perfect for me. I wonder who came up with the phrase marry me when a man proposes to a woman. I wonder. Where did the term marriage come from? I wonder. Kind of sounds like me in a way. Maybe not maybe. Who knows? Who cares? I keep telling you, I'm lickety split, sneaky smart, baby doll. That's just who I am. But wait, there's more. Mary, I know how the Dalai Lama got to be who he is. We were all up in heaven, and one day the mother said to us all, I have a very important mission. I need the best among you to volunteer for this job. And the Dalai Lama raised his hand and said, Mother, I am nothing special, but I will volunteer because I love you so much. And the mother said, that's my definition of the best among you. Crying is the gift you receive for giving best effort love. That's the kind of man I want as head of my church. That might be the most beautiful poem I've ever written. I may never top this one. The gift you receive for giving respect is love, a bit of wisdom from who I am. Mary, you are intelligent and beautiful, and you have inspired me to ask you to make me your laugh. Is that not the best offer of marriage you have ever heard? I just stole your heart. Come on, admit it. Sir, you would honor us both if you would preside. Just an itty bitty, teeny weeny, tiny bit closer. That's all, folks. What say you? I'll be back.